Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast. The Colts Podcast is real takes, no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, joined by Dan Hertzler. What's up, Dan?
Not too much, man. Not too much. 24 hours after the win, still feeling pretty good. This team is still fighting. They're getting better every week. Again, we can discuss that. Maybe we will later in the week, whether or not they should be winning or whether we want them to lose, but that's a different subject. Today, we really need to talk about just a lack of production from the wide receiver 2 position. Alec Pierce, we're really talking about. Some of the reports coming out about Sammy Watkins and some other things. Josh, what's our take here? Are we reading something in here, or are they just fed up with the fact that they're getting nothing from the wide receiver 2 position?
Well, it's interesting. Obviously, Ian Rappaport tweeted out that they've worked out Sammy Watkins, and this isn't the first time we've heard the Colts just kind of kicking the tires on that wide receiver position. Remember, they signed KJ Hamler to the team a couple of weeks ago. We've heard when the Jonathan Taylor news was breaking that he was on the trade block. The Colts were interested in getting a Jalen Waddle type of wide receiver. As the trade deadline neared, we heard the Colts were interested in Jerry Jeudy. We heard the Colts were interested in Christian Watkins. Now we hear that, hey, maybe if we can't get Christian Watkins, we can get the bargain bin Dollar General version, Sammy Watkins. Truth is, whether or not Sammy Watkins gets signed by the Colts, it just goes to show that they have no faith in, I'm guessing Alec Pierce, because Michael Pittman stepped up. Josh Downs has had a great rookie season. I know he's hurt, and this could be a reason why adding some depth to the team. Although I would think KJ Hamler would serve that role better than Sammy Watkins, than Sammy Watkins. But still, it just makes me think that something is off in the receiving core. We've heard so much noise and so much smoke about it that there's got to be a fire burning somewhere.
Yeah, you look at it, 9 games in, he's got 17 catches, 243 yards, no touchdowns. From your number 2 position, again, that's just not acceptable at this point. I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor. He's already got 15 catches in 5 games. So he's almost equal the same amount of catches as Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
There's really no deep threat with this team other than a scheming situation where you see, Downs get open or something, or Pittman misses a tackle. There's no kind of that home run threat, which I thought going into the season that was going to be Alec Pierce position. I was, again, on record thinking he was going to have a breakout season, but it's gone the complete opposite. And I know we've talked about cornerback being a number 1 kind of priority next season, but I think right up there is going to be wide receiver because this team is desperately looking for that. They're not getting anything out of the tight ends position either, which is interesting, but they definitely need another outside receiver for this team. And again, they can find some veteran fill-ins here. Sammy Watkins will provide something, at least put some fire under Alec Pierce, because right now there's no one else on this team that can probably take his position, which I think is part of the problem. He's got to play, and he's just not producing. I don't know what they're going to do, but to me, this is 100% lack of faith that they have in Alec Pierce.
I'll make 2 points. One, I do think our receiver core could improve, but I'd much rather them sign a veteran corner over a veteran receiver at this point in the season. I think the difference that a veteran corner could make is much more than what a Sammy Watkins is going to make. And honestly, it doesn't have to be either or. I'm sure the Colts can make it happen for both. But if I were to pick, I'd rather a corner over a receiver. And secondly, we were both kind of high on Pierce entering this season, which is maybe why we're disappointed, like the disappointed dad. Maybe for you could be the disappointed grandpa.
Easy.
But the truth is, Alec Pierce, in his defense, has had 5 starting quarterbacks since his day one. He's had Matt Ryan. He's had Nick Foles. He's had Sam Ehlinger. He's had Anthony Richardson. And now he's had Gardner Minshew. Does that give him any bit of leeway? Because we think about these other wide receivers in fantasy football, a Devontae Adams, who, is one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. And you see their numbers taper down. Well, the Colts have Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And before that, a rookie in Anthony Richardson, who wasn't known to be a renowned passer, or he wasn't entering the NFL as a premier passer. So are we giving him any leeway for that?
No, none whatsoever. Because Michael Pittman's producing. I mean, he's balling out. You mentioned Josh Downs. He's balling out. These guys are putting up numbers. If Alec Pierce was a little bit more 35 catches, maybe even pushing 40, I mean, he's not even basically a third of what Michael Pittman is doing.
Yeah.
and he's the number 2 receiver here. So I think this coaching staff, I think Shane Steichen right off the bat probably knew Alec Pierce isn't the guy. Like when they were talking, like you said earlier, with the Jonathan Taylor trade, that was even really before the season started, or even in the first week of the season. They're already trying to find another receiver, because I think they knew that this guy is just not going to cut it. He is not the player that they drafted, or the guy that they thought he was going to be. And this, I'm still giving Shane a lot of credit for what he's scheming up and what he's doing with this team. It really does lack some of that offensive firepower that they need to really kind of put some fear into defenses. They're doing a wonderful job. They're playing great. Don't take that thinking they're not doing well. But if they would add something like just say a Waddle type speed, or what Watkins used to be. I'm not sure if he's as fast as he used to be. That kind of speed on this team, someone that can just stretch the defense. Man, this offense might even take it to another level. So I think that's what they really want. And Alec Pierce is just not the guy.
So you think signing Watkins is a good move then, if they make the and you think you think he would eat up some of Alec Pierce's reps as the number 2?
Possibly. Yeah, and it would, or at least just put some fear in them. Like, get your act together, start playing better. You have the potential of now sitting. Like right now, who's going to take that number 2 spot? Because they've got all these kind of gadget slot receivers, and McKenzie and Hamler, KJ. And these guys, they're just not a traditional
number 2 build.
So that's what they need. And again, I'm just going to keep saying it. They need speed on that receiver, and they need someone that can take the top off these defenses. Not sure if Gardner Minshew can hit them, but at least put the fear in them. And I would be shocked if they don't bring a veteran in, because of as much as they've done this year, but also next year. You could see either a free agent signing or one of the high draft.
Harrison Jr. Trade the future, baby. No, I don't know we might be picking too high or too late to be in that sweepstakes. But an interesting point I've seen some Colts fans bringing up on Twitter, and I'm just going to have to ixnay it. T.Y. Hilton. They're like, if you're going to bring in a vet, bring T.Y. Hilton back. And if you're looking up at T.Y.'s build, he was never really built to be an outside guy to fit Pierce's role. So with him losing a step, he definitely isn't that guy. T.Y. ideally could maybe be a slot guy of some sort, maybe late in his career to serve a few games. But that's kind of why that wouldn't work. Otherwise, I would love to see T.Y. one more time, number 13, come out there. But you know what? It's interesting. Hey, Colts are always kind of, just like every team, looking to build their roster. When the final 53 comes out, it's never the final 53. I'm not opposed to it. I want to see a veteran corner as well. So let's see what happens. Well, guys, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, you look at them, and again, they're really on a weird spot. You mentioned Marvin Harrison winning too much. They're 4-5. They're right there in the playoff in the sense of the next 3 games. So why not go get the veteran, either cornerback, wide receiver, go get it, see what you can do over the next 3 games, and then kind of sit back and reevaluate. I never, ever like playing because, we're playing for a draft pick. Let's play to win these games, especially the young team. And who knows, maybe this team gets hot and we start talking playoffs.
They could. I mean, you look at the Bills have 3 losses. I think it is 3 or 4 losses at this point.
They're up to 4 now. Yeah,
they're up to 4 now. I mean, that's one more loss or one less loss than the Colts. I mean, so the NFL this season, there's not a really big breakaway team quite yet. So we're in the thick of things. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments about Sammy Watkins and some of this other stuff we talked about. We appreciate you watching the Common Colt Podcast. We're pushing to 2,000 subs. We're over 1,900. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, guys, and have a great day.